When a person goes fishing, what they do is they take a baby fish and stick it on the end of a line by a metal barb through their lip, or maybe their eye, and then throw it out in the water and wait until a bigger fish comes and eats it, thereby getting the metal barb stuck in their own lip, or maybe their throat. And then they drag it through the water, take it out, and throw it into a bucket where they suffocate it almost until it dies, but then take it out at the last minute, cut its head off, and eat it. There are entire youth events centered around this practice. But if a dad takes his kid fishing, he'll just spend the next 3 hours exchanging poles with him as he fixes the various things that the child was able to mess up. And it's almost impressive that he was able to mess up anything because, dad was doing all the actual baiting and casting and most of the waiting while the kid just sat there in the dirt and played with the worms. The alternative, of course, is letting the kid hold the pole and every 30 seconds hearing, "I got one!" Yeah, buddy, a big one. The Indians used to call that the bottom of the lake. That's why when my dad asked me to take the kids fishing, I just filled up the kiddie pool with the hose and sprinkled some green food coloring in it. And you know what? The worms look exactly the same if you play with them there or at the lake. There is a difference between fishing and catching, and if you don't know what that difference is and you're with your kids, well, you're probably fishing. But you can fish alone, and normally what that means is sitting on the edge of a dock in an old fold-out chair with a cold drink and a pole that may or may not have bait on it beside you, thinking up a story about the one that got away, or at least until you fall asleep, which is very similar to what a lot of old guys do when they get together and talk about their wives. Catching is similar. There's still a drink and a lawn chair, but assuming that you're awake when the line goes out, you actually get to reel it in and then throw the fish back in the water because life is pointless. And there actually was a point in my life where I was thinking about becoming a fisherman, but after watching some of those fishing shows, I'm starting to think that the fish are what give sailors their bad mouths. But really, some fish are pretty expensive, like koi, so you can imagine how excited I was when I actually caught one. But then the hotel told me that I was going to have to put it back or they'd call security. So let me just say that I know from experience that the aquariums at the Bass Pro Shop are not there so that you can try out their equipment. You only make that mistake. And it's probably for the best that we don't hunt the same way we fish because, well, I don't think you'd have to reel in a bear. And you know what? The worms look exactly the same if you play with them. Share the video. Is that funny? I thought it might be, but I wasn't sure. Boat! It's a boat! It's a big boat! Big!
It's a smile!
Boat. Teeth! Teeth. It's a mess.